Hello everybody, I'm Dan here from the Gamer Game Channel. Welcome back to my Soviet Union achievement run playthrough for the Revolution Triumphant achievement. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm doing the intro on the menu screen, and that's because I just need to state that this is a really highly edited episode. It is going to basically cut and jump from basically all the exciting parts of the war, because I had 6 hours of footage to go through. 6 hours. So I've just condensed it down to what I think is actually worthwhile watching. Because see, if I had done this playthrough at like 30-minute episodes, we'd be going up to about episode 20, and there'd be so many just pointless and boring episodes. So I've condensed it down. Just another quick heads up: the audio for the commentary, I should say, for the first 10 minutes will be live commentary from like the recording that I had done, the 50-minute one. That 10-minute footage is the only exciting stuff that happened in that 50-minute episode. That's why I decided to just go ahead and do some highly edited episodes and just chop down the content. Because, oh my god, some of it's so boring. So boring. I watched so much Netflix during this recording. Unbelievable. The other 30 minutes of this episode will be post-commentary. Mainly because, obviously, I sat down just in a massive bulk recording. And just because I'm cutting it down, I thought it would be best just to cut down the content first, then see what I need to commentate on. So, yeah, that's just what I need to say. So, I hope you go on to enjoy the episode, and I'll be back at the end to, say goodbye. So, yeah, enjoy. Right, we need to try and secure. I'm wanting to secure Danzig as soon as possible. Right, that is what we're wanting to do. And right now, it's doing great. That'll help supply out as well. Look at that; it's already resolved the issue. And holy balls, we've already managed to get the Danzig. Well, you guys are clear to go. Go 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 go. All of yous, everybody, everybody. Holy moly, they have been minced in there. Königsberg needs to fall. Königsberg needs to fall or get cut off. The Germans are not escaping today. Tank, 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 tank. What are you doing? You are not leaving that port. Oh gosh. Oh my days. The Poles are trying hard as well. Just keep them pinned in. Well, these guys attempt to do something. I thought we were going to have a good war, actually. I thought it was actually going to go in our favour very, very quickly. However, it has not. Heroes in the production front. Thank heavens for that. Oh my days, we're actually pushing forward. It's a miracle. Until we meet an absolute ton of divisions. Oh, okay. That's them going bye-bye. Yes. Happy days. Kill them. Slaughter them. No, do all in your power to kill them right this minute. There's 17 German divisions. I want more of you focusing on Kozlin. I've got 11,000 guns now. Nothing stupid is occurring either. Yoink. Try and push into them. Wait a minute. How many sitting here? 10 apparently. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Guys, I would appreciate if you could kill them. Oh yeah, that didn't last very long. that potential success over there. Well, they all died. They can now redistribute themselves. No, what are you doing? You fools, why are you retreating? Because 7 divisions have just rocked on in. I don't know how Denmark is still making gains. How the hell is Denmark making gains? How? Explain to me, game. It's Denmark. Right, I need someone up in here. Denmark beating the Germans. Who would have thought you'd seen that coming? I'm hoping I can get to them and unite with that front. Death from above. That's what we're going for now, really. Oh, Jesus, we've got a lot of guys through there. Oh, okay, okay. Right, you. Attack. You, attack in there. No, don't you dare retreat. No. No, oh, what's happened? Oh, no. Oh, no, what a mess the front line's becoming, though. Look at that. What the f... Oh, dear. I could jump. That's far too ahead of time. Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy you're gonna die. We do have 52 divisions attacking you, like. Keep going. The north is their weak point. You know, we should be going for the soft underbelly in Mussolini, but you know, we have no way in hell got the ability to do that. You, join in this fun. Come on guys. We can do some pushes. No we can't, not there. Oh my days, they're surviving. Kill them. Kill them now. Before they're able to, you know, recuperate and recover them, because that would just be disastrous for us. No, don't turn around. No, don't turn around. No, don't turn around. Don't you dare bloody do that. Yep, big blob of divisions. Let's try and push through there. Come on, if Denmark can push, I can push. Surely. Oh my days. Germany, you are actually doing my head in. It's like you don't want to be puppeted. I really want to get these 19 divisions. If not even more. Hence why I'm just trying to keep... Are those tanks literally driving away? You absolute fools. What are you doing? Get on that and stay on that. Another ace pilot. Wait, I thought we were pushing in there. I thought it was a green. This is where the audio is now... well, the commentary, rather, is post-recording. So this is the point where I decided that I'm going to just play it and cut down the content that I do record to the, you know, the exciting stuff. So as you can see at this point in my fantastic game, Sweden is actually getting pushed into by the Germans. I have sent some troops to try and stop them. However, just take them a sweet ass time to get there. I decided to spam up military factories as well, just to try and just keep gun production really high. Just because I was concerned it was going to become an issue, which it does in fact become an issue later on, and we'll just see in part 2. Well, yeah, part 2 of the finale. The Allies, can I just say right now, are the most incompetent buggers ever. Like, the US land in Spain, right? Yeah, I know there's tons of divisions. Like, if I was the show right now, I would check the war participation thing, the score, and the casualties. If you look at the number of divisions that it says the Axis have, it's between, like, I think it was 600 and 900, or even 1,000 really. It was a lot of divisions, which I was like, alright, fair enough, that's why we're not able to actually push. Now, over in Communist China, I can't believe I kicked them from the bloody faction they joined the Axis. I should have known that was going to happen. But luckily, things start to go a little bit better over here. Not completely amazing right now, but later on that does get sorted out, which I'm very glad at. As for the main front, oh my days, what a bloody stalemate. Their air superiority, they have between 6,000 and 10,000 planes as you've seen there. I do not have anywhere close to that in terms of planes. It was really something I should have focused more on, and to be honest, I should have started the war on Germany rather than them starting the war on me. I left it too late. Once we had taken out Finland and the Mizumori, we should have just went straight for the Germans. Just straight for them. Because at this point, the whole of the Axis has, got tons of divisions now. The Americans can't even push into Spain. Into Spain. Just let that sink in. I know they've probably got support from all the other members of the Axis, but Spain, they cannot even get through Spain. Now, I sent 18 divisions over to try and stop this. I was getting really annoyed at this point just because we were sucking so hard. I thought we were going to do so much better. This isn't really one of the hard achievements. Like, I've put this down as like a medium difficulty achievement because I've kind of classified all the achievements into easy, hard, medium, and very hard. Now, obviously, like, the likes of very hard, I can't remember what I've put in there. But I put this one in the medium because I thought it literally just needs me to beat the Germans and the Soviets. And my next one that I'm doing, Operation Sea Lion, that's also I've classed that as a medium one, mainly because you just have to take over the UK. Which doesn't seem like it'd be too difficult. However, I've made this one really difficult because right now we're in 1943. This war doesn't finish until 1948. 1948. It's a shame I've already unlocked the achievement. I tried the push here. It was just a completely stupid idea. Actually, it wasn't even me. It was the Poles. Stupid idea from them. Yeah, it's a shame I already had the achievement that reached the... I can't remember what it's called. Reach the 1948 without capitulating as France. Oh, it's France, isn't it? It's France. I said it. We're not playing as France. But yeah, it's just... it's just been terrible. It's been a terrible achievement run for me. Thanks for interrupting, phone. It's nice to see your have your presence. Yeah, I just honestly, I recorded this 6 hours of footage, and I've chopped it down to about an hour and 30 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes rather, which is still quite a long time. But I'm just glad it's over and we've done it because I was not attempting this again. I thought we were actually maybe going to make a push here in Sweden when I seen that cavalry division moving. I was like, alright, there's a gap. But yeah, nothing happens. So now I've skipped a decent bit ahead. I go ahead and annex Poland, which I think was a great move because I got all their divisions and I got all of their equipment that they had. Now, I don't actually put these 56 divisions in the use. They get binned. I just bin them just for all the equipment. I really wanted to stay on top of guns. I don't know, well, we would have seen if we were still zoomed out. In Sweden, you know how that cavalry was just making, I was just commenting on the cavalry pushing forward. Well, we got pushed back. And I don't know why my divisions were like that in Poznan, but I decided just to retreat because it was just, they were getting attacked from so many different angles and I really didn't want to lose any divisions at this point. Now, I was trying to get the Germans to push my line because they were just sitting. So that's why you can see all those troops on fallback lines and they're just sitting further back. Just because I wanted the line to be strong enough, but also weak enough in the Germans' eyes that they would push and just lose all the manpower. Because at this point I was like, right, we're going to have to just play and get the Germans down. And just even the rest of the Axis, we need to just crush them. Crush their manpower. Which we do achieve later on. I don't really want to get too spoilery. I thought I blew this already, but luckily since I had those divisions sitting there, we were able to just mop this quickly up. Because I don't even know why they weren't covering that line, but I thought they were actually going to breach through there. And because the Germans have that many divisions in the Axis and in general, I thought they were maybe going to flood through there and it would be really hard to contain them. Communist China finally got called in. They had been sitting doing nothing. Now, I thought that we'd be able to just push into them straight away. Not the case. Not the case at all. Not yet, anyways. I was hoping that the allies in China, they were going to be able to actually do some damage as well, but they didn't really prove useful. Now, I'd just like to point out as well, those 18 divisions in Turkey, they sit there for the entire game and do nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's when I've been the 56 divisions. Just because we already had a deficit of equipment at this point, and I was like, right, we cannot let this get out of hand. We got 31,000 guns there. Ah, yes. This is the point where I knew we could push Communist China. We got that encirclement of the divisions. And then I think I go ahead. Oh, I was looking at political advisors. I think I grab war bonds here. Yeah, I do. There's nothing in here of, great value to us. Even the resources, not so much. Order 227 doesn't actually come into effect. You'll be glad to know. Yeah, I go for the push, I think. If I'm remembering correctly, we do go for the push. Because at this point I was like, let's try and get the Axis out of Asia. I know the Allies were still going to have to struggle. As you can see, the Germans are going mental on our line now than the Axis. They're just going absolutely mental, and it was great. I was hoping the Allies were going to help me out with India, which they do. The only shame is they're still at war with Japan, so I don't think they actually were able to completely abandon Asia, obviously, which I think the AI was focusing more on, because the UK doesn't really seem to pop up at all, but they're losing tons of men though at the same time, so I think they are doing failed naval invasions. I had been spamming out anti-air. I decided to bin them now because the repairs that are needed is just getting a bit too much. I was trying to counteract their air superiority, mainly because at this point you'll notice I'm back to my old self without any planes being there. Mainly because I was waiting to use them to try and get just air superiority just long enough, there goes Communist China, for me to drop a nuke. That's why I was keeping them and not using them right now. And mainly because production was not going so well on them. I was using them to begin with, just to cover Poland and my front, but because of the German sheer number of planes, they were just absolutely destroying my planes. Like, reinforcing them was just incapable. We were in the negative surplus of those, so I just decided to just hold off on them and just keep producing them, and then I just bombard the Germans with them in different areas and just nuke them. I don't know where those convoys were actually going. I can't remember. I think it was America or Britain. We got a nice wee encirclement here though from the capitulation of China. I didn't move any divisions straight away to push in India, but I was like, I probably should have. I probably should have started moving sooner. They don't push really that far in at all. I do go ahead and actually start pushing into India, which is great. Because all these divisions can then go back to the main front and actually help out in Europe, because, well, that was just not really going to plan. It was going to plan more now than it was earlier on, mainly because the Germans are just throwing their men at the flipping throwing their men at us. As you've seen, see there, we've lost 2 million, over 2 mil. Germans lost over 7 million at this point, which I was like, good, but they still had tons of manpower at this point as well. They still had a decent 8 million to use on all adult serve, which probably means they had another 20 million left if they were on Scream of the Barrel. Now, it never occurred to me, I should have really... The amount of times I've played HOI4, how many hours I've put into this is ridiculous. And it didn't even occur to me that, when you take land from a nation, obviously, if they lose, their core provinces, or just any land really, they're going to lose manpower. There we go, there's a nice big jump to see India getting destroyed. I do eventually start pushing to Germany, and the area I push into is a highly populated area, and their manpower just disappears. And I think that is probably the key point where I knew that it was going in their favour, because the Germans really didn't have much to throw at us at that point. They're still continuing to push right now. We had 74,000 guns at this point, and I was considering pushing on the main front, but I'm glad I didn't. Oh, I sent tanks over to India as well. Rokossovsky got sent over here. And yes, you didn't actually see me do this, but I have went ahead at this point and upgraded all of our tanks to medium tanks, and we have 48 of them out. Or not 48, a 24 and an 18. I do get another 24 later on, so we do have a decent number of tanks. That's because I do switch the 18 over to infantry. Yeah, we do have two 24s, but it's not right now. But I was so glad. It's just because I had a massive surplus of medium tanks. I was like, you know what, let's just bin the light tanks. There's no point producing both. Medium tanks are better, so we just started getting them, focusing on them. Because let's just say, they done work over here in India. They do work for us all over the place, actually. Now, the Germans do lose a lot of men over here. It's probably too many men. I don't know why they've taken over India. I don't know why they've done it. Don't really know how they've done it with so much ease as well. But they did. Now you also notice that Vichy France actually gets bigger and bigger during the course of the 6 hours. Mainly because the Allies do that many invasions. I think Germany just gives them land. I think, anyways. The Dominion of India is making a comeback as well. Obviously, they do not get to the size that they're supposed to get to because I take the land instead and I don't have military access with them. Just because I thought we were getting some of their juicy areas of resources, so we'll just use that to keep funding our war machine. But let's just say this was a very long 6 hours for me. Very long. Very, very long. I'm not even sure I'll maybe go with the German playthrough next, just because I'm planning on doing is it a New World Order, I think it is, get all the nations fascist, which would also be a big ask. I feel like these achievement runs are going to be heavily edited. So they are. I think that's probably the best way to do them, rather than having like 20 episodes for an achievement. Nobody's going to want to watch that, really. It'd be better if it's just... If the episodes are, fine to begin with, like how this series started, if we just do them like that, and it gets to the point where like not much happens in 30 minutes, then I'll start going to the heavily edited sections. Because nobody wants to just see me sitting. Like if I had put up an episode, well, the episode that I was planning on putting up in place of this one, it was 45 minutes long, and it was literally just me sitting on the German border. The footage from the first 10 minutes was taken from that episode. There's 10 minutes worth that's actually got something in it. So it was just ridiculous. And I do apologise, but these episodes are quite hefty in size as well. I think they're both 40 minutes. I think one's actually closer to 50. But yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine at this point. I'm glad we're securing India. I was really hoping to push down in Sweden. I'm glad we didn't. Oh yes, this is when I changed those tanks over. Ah yes, because we're in a deficit though. So I decided just to switch them over because we don't really need tanks up there at this time. We've got a nice encirclement of 11 divisions. Take a little bit of time to break down. But it's 13 divisions. But we don't really meet much resistance over there. As you can see, this front's kind of stagnated again. The Germans aren't actually throwing themselves at us. And the Americans in Free France, the Allies, are trying their naval invasion still. Just to no avail, really. No avail whatsoever. I thought I'd actually screwed that encirclement up. We just managed to get a division in to reinforce there. It wasn't even... Oh, it was us. It was a Romanian division, though. And they do die. They do die. Now, those divisions in there are also screwed, mainly because there's actually no port and no way for them to get supplied, which is glorious as well. Don't get me wrong, the Allies did actually do some good work over here, helping with the Germans. It's the one time we actually came together. Well, and at the end of the episode, well, the finale, part 2, they helped me take out the rest of the Axis once the Germans fall. That's all they do. That is all they do. The Americans, actually, the Americans come in handy one other time during this, and we'll get to that, I think, at the end of this episode. Oh, no, it's next episode. It's next episode. Because I have a massive boo-boo. As you can see, the repairs that are needing done is getting quite ridiculous, and it continues getting ridiculous as well. One thing I'm bad for doing, and you're probably going to notice this, is that I do not have divisions dealing with resistance in Germany once I start to take some of their land, which is just causing there to be even more and more and more, destruction happening and more factories and infrastructure needing repaired. I do eventually put some divisions out. Germans are nearing 10 million casualties at this point. The Axis in total have lost 19 million to me. Well, to be in the Swedish. Romania, they don't actively come in the war. I use their divisions. Which they do come in handy. They do come in handy. Especially considering they have about 100 at one point, which I take. The Allies. I really hate the Allies in this. And usually they're a good annoyance for the, useful ally, because they're annoying in the sense that they just keep doing naval invasions. And just wasting away, really. Thank heavens I wasn't planning on continuing on this, to do like a whole communism thing. I'm glad that's not an achievement. It's a long clip, actually. I didn't think it was this long, me pushing in India. Yeah, we're still good on guns at this point, but it really does become an issue. It really does. I do some restructuring. Oh, there's the other 24 tanks exercising now. Do some restructuring. I pull some divisions back to try and get them to do some more pushing again, the Germans. I don't know if that happens during this clip or not. But we do take a lot of their factories as well, the Germans, at one point. So we do really get stuck into them. It might be at the end of this episode. I think it is. But we really do start getting into them, and it's fantastic. It really is fantastic. I was hoping Japan was actually going to, face off against the Axis as well at some point, because obviously they're at war, but they never actually touch. They never engage. Japan loses no men, no casualties in the Japanese Axis war. I don't know which. There's 3 wars currently going. I don't know why they haven't just come together as one. Because there's a German Soviet, there's a German Luxembourg, which is the German ally one, and then there's the Japanese German one. It's like, why didn't they all just merge? But then again, it couldn't merge completely because Japan's at war with the Allies. So they're kind of on the side of the Germans, but they're not on the side of the Germans. Japan's at this point just against everyone except for me. Germans start pushing again. I don't actually move any troops. Got that wee encirclement in the north. Philippe Golikov gets wounded. A lot of my generals get decent. Oh, you've noticed as well, I've got a second theatre. Finally done it. Finally done it. Doesn't really stick around for that long, to be quite honest. We have managed to lose a division as well. They must have got encircled at some point, or they just died of exhaustion. Really don't know. To be honest, it doesn't really matter. At this point, India is ours. And that front is doing great. Doing really good. I feel like if we had more planes, this series would have went a lot better. Just because we'd be able to cancel out the bonus that the Germans got from their air superiority. Because at points it was like 30, plus 30. And it's just like, there's no way that I can break through them with that. And with the negative modifiers of me, like the night attack, the terrain, the experience. It was just terrible. It was just terrible. I think this must be the longest section of the episode, I think. Yeah, it's just a matter of mopping up, really. Because there's no port access to those guys. Yeah, they don't even have any in the south either. They're all just cut off. So are the guys to the northeast as well. They're screwed as well. I think it's a bit obvious when you can see their organisation is just non-existent, and even their tanks, they're looking absolutely shockingly supplied. This front is still as dead as anything. I was debating whether or not to actually send more divisions out there and try and push down, because I thought that'd be a way to get into northern Germany. Which, you know, not bad logic there, because it is a good way to come into the north of Germany. Just we weren't able to do so. Now the Americans were over here in our territory at this point. That's the thing that bugged me about the Allies. It's like they had military access to me. The only time you really see their divisions in my territory is at this point in India. And I'm like, well, obviously, because they're wanting their dominion back. Like, there's none on the main front with me. Like, would you not expect the Allies to send a lot of their troops over and try and push with me? The infrastructure probably couldn't handle it. It barely handled sections barely handled my divisions. I kind of had the Greens on like reinforced duty at this point because I could simply just move them. They were basically a tile behind the main front, so it's like, oh, yep, you're going to lose. Just send one division in there just to help until the actual guys can reinforce them. Lodz has 8 infrastructure damage right now. It's not great. Their planes are being a nuisance. But here comes the nuclear reactors. We do not build as many as that. We do build some, and we do get some nukes out, but it's the production for like a single one was really, really, really low. Really low. I was still considering at this point at Turkey. I was hoping to move those 18 divisions, because with 18 divisions could be elsewhere and helping me try and actually win the war against Germany. But I was so worried that they were going to join the Axis. Oh, finally, here we go. Oh, yes. With India secured, I went ahead and changed the 18 military police divisions we had to motorised. And I sent a lot of divisions to the north here. And we just go. At this point, it is literally just throw in men at them. We are just launching tons of them at them. And there's so many divisions in here. Oh yeah, I did have some planes back out at this point because I did feel like I had enough. We do get superiority in Eastern Germany, which I was really shocked by. Do actually leave some planes behind though, because we do want to keep, you know, Western Poland. We don't want to try and get air superiority there. Just, you know, help out with the, just prevent them from damaging our territory. You can see we're still meeting some heavy resistance, but we started to get through it. I'm just like, right, we're going for this. We're going to keep going, just keep going. We do start to take heavy casualties, but with the Soviets, we have manpower to waste. At this point, I'm still in limited conscription. Limited conscription. In 1945. It's 1945 as well. So we've jumped up 2 years during this, and I've only been talking for 20 minutes. So the episode's probably been on for 30 minutes. 30 minutes to go through 2 years. Well, 2 years worth of footage, really. That's much longer. It was much longer, I'll tell you that. Much, much longer, those 2 years. They were really bloody slow. My main challenge here was to get to Berlin. I thought, we'll get Berlin, then we can see like the stance we have, like where else we're going to have to take. I knew Vienna was going to have to fall, and I knew Prague was most likely going to have to fall as well as Hamburg. I was just worried that Munich was going to be a target because, as you can see, Munich is, well, I was going to point it out. There, you can see it there. Munich is there. Like, look how far away we are from from there. Like, it would have been the worst if we had to get to, like, Frankfurt right now, or even like Paris, because that's under control of Germany. Imagine if that became the capital. Super things happen. Oh yes, I was considering naval invasion. It gets binned. I was going to help the Allies out in Africa, but I was like, you know what, that's not even my fight. I have no land over there. I'm getting these guys over here to help. Because the tanks were... I needed the tanks just to punch through. Japan starts attacking the Allies in India as well, so it's a good thing I didn't actually give them India back. But as you can see, it's a mixture of pushing and defending. Which is good. But we do start to kind of get held back a little bit. We're still pushing. We're still pushing. I think it's because they just didn't expect me to, you know, launch that many men. Because that's a lot. We do lose air superiority. I do decide to send more planes over. Just to try and turn the tide there. In fact, I moved them up as well. Some of them, I think. I thought I did, but clearly I didn't click on it. Those 500 are still chilling there. Oh no, they do move. They did move. I actually just decided to move them all, which doesn't work out. I leave it though, like an absolute idiot. I just leave it like that. Now we had 103,000 guns at this point. Just wait. Just wait till later on. 103,000 becomes basically invisible. Like they're all gone. And in fact, we don't have enough guns for our men, which is really, you know, like the Soviet Union in real life. You know, just sending men forward with rifle cartridges and pointing a machine gun in the back in case they run back towards you. We don't do that though. We don't start killing our own men, and we do get my guns back. So, yes. At this point, I was really thinking we can get Sweden cut off. We can cut off Sweden by taking Denmark back and pushing over from Copenhagen. Because we're still being successful up here. We're still pushing, still going well. Happy days. And we're getting closer to Berlin as well. I just wish I could at this point have pushed into Greater Hungary. And Slovakia, the rest of Slovakia is actually a pain in the ass. A pain in the ass. Because it's mountainous terrain. And just the number of divisions in there was insane. It's like if you had them covering the rest of the front, nowhere would have been able to get pushed. They had so many divisions concentrated in that small area. Oh yeah, those tanks were taking ages to come back. Absolutely ages. At least at this point, I was actually gaining territory that wasn't actually mine. We finally pushed out. And because it's northern Germany as well, we're not really there at the big boys just yet, but some of those areas we're getting near have got the big, you know, populations, thus offer the most manpower. Especially, is it Brandenburg, which is the province that Berlin's in? That is obviously hella stacked because Berlin's there, and Berlin's got a lot of population. It was good. They're closing in to 12 million casualties at this point as well. And we managed to get the Rostock and start pushing towards the Kiel Canal and Hamburg. By doing this as well, we did cut off their access to the Baltic Sea as well by trying to, that's what I was wanting to do as well, trying to cut into there. And not that they were doing any naval invasions anyways, I'm glad they didn't. Because trying to get some of my troops back from the front later on would just be impossible. But yeah, I do get Constantine, I do make an absolute just a terrible mistake there trying to cover the whole front one. I literally just wanted them to go kind of central there and help push through. I was trying to keep the front very, like, I guess symmetrical. I was kind of, well, not symmetrical, that's probably not the best word. Just straight. Like, I didn't want any massive bulges occurring or any big indents. I just wanted to be nice and smooth, just in case we did start to get pushed back, because there was a chances, obviously, if you have a wonky line, that, they could cut off like 20 odd divisions. And we didn't really want that happening. I needed all my divisions at this point. And it was just... Oh yeah, we move on. Yes, I do skip a little bit here, mainly because it took that long to actually get to the Kiel Canal. But we do eventually start to push up into Denmark and essentially liberate it. We don't really let them have their land back till the end of the war. But yeah, Kiel gets cut off. I was still researching landing craft at this point. Just ignore that, we don't use it. Romania was really keen on joining. That was never happening though, because the amount of divisions stacked on their border was there was just too much for me to handle. This was the best case scenario. Yeah, advanced landing craft, don't know why I done that, but we got a nice wee encirclement here, but then I thought, right, they can still get across there, so I tried to pin them in. The divisions in Kiel were holding well. You can't tell what number it was, but I think it was 7, I did check. Yeah, we did get those encircled divisions as well. So the Germans do start to, get their divisions out of Sweden for obvious reasons. But they were running out of kind of ports to do so at this point. They only really had the ones in Sweden. And because we were starting to cut off their access out of the Baltic Sea, there wasn't really much, there wasn't really anywhere they could run. I thought we were maybe going to get slogged down in Copenhagen as well. Or even crossing those crosses to Copenhagen. I just thought, the Germans are going to have the defence to just stop me. That one division up there, I can't remember how many it was actually, was causing us some bother actually. And I was like, just bugger off, just die. Same with the ones in Kiel. But we do successfully get to Copenhagen. We managed to get there. And jet engines is done. I don't actually get the jet fighters in the production. I was really just doing research for the sake of doing research at this point. Now, it's 1946. I had all the technology I needed. Artillery, anti-tank, tanks were done. Support equipment was basically getting done, I think, at this point, or done. All the infantry stuff was done that I needed. Everything was done. Land doctrine was done. I actually was working a lot on air doctrines, even though the Air Force wasn't really seeing much combat. As you can see, the Germans completely abandoned that front of Sweden. They left some divisions, which I don't understand why they done that. Like, why would you leave some divisions defending when you know that they're going to lose? Is there thinking that, oh, maybe these 4 divisions can actually just hold some of their forces back and just do some damage to them? But that was never going to be the case. Oh yes, I was boosting popularity in Turkey as well. I've probably been doing that for some time now when I mention this. Just because I was like, well, if I can get communism support higher before the fascists, then they're more likely to, flip. They're going to flip communist and join me, rather than join the Germans and go fascist. And I thought, well, if we can do that, then I can abandon that front, and then we could even push through from Turkey, because Bulgaria does eventually flip fascist to Legionnaire Bulgaria, and they do join the Axis. I have to be the world's biggest idiot. I had to basically start my audio recording again, my commentary. Take a break from it rather, to go pick up my sister from Lockerbie, and I came back and I'd done the last couple of minutes of this episode, and yeah, I had the mic on mute. Genius. This is why you always test things and make sure everything's working before you record, so yeah, idiot. But anyways, let's get back and finish off the first part. So yes, we start pushing in from pushing southwards in Sweden, and we just hold them at Copenhagen right now. I do try and push this front to no avail though. We will get back to that front next episode. There's not too much difficulty here. We managed fine. The main focus for next episode was just taking out the Germans. We didn't have to worry about Asia. We didn't have to worry about Scandinavia now. We just had to focus on Germany. Just Germany. Because with Germany dead, Italy, Vichy France and Nationalist Spain, they can't carry one another. Italy can barely carry themselves, let alone the whole faction, because they're so incompetent as hell. and the miners that are involved, their manpower is basically non-existent at this point already because they've been endlessly attacking my divisions in Hungary. That is who's been doing that fighting. That's why Hungary has lost all of their men. Obviously, because they're trying to defend their land. Slovakia has lost so many men defending. Croatia has lost so much as well, even though I don't know I don't know where they've been fighting, but as you can see, they're still endlessly attacking my Hungarian and Slovakian front. Hence why I've stacked so much divisions there. We do go to extensive conscription at this point. We're on 3.58 million. That's near enough 3.6. I just thought, might as well do it now and just get the manpower reserve just even higher up, because we do, in fact, start throwing manpower really at the German front next episode, especially near the end of the German Reich's reign. We go in ham, and I mean ham. But we get Karlskrona. I probably said that wrong. We secure that port. Göteborg has been secured as well by the Norwegians. So Malmo is the only port left in Sweden for the Germans to evacuate. And relative ease, we start pushing over Copenhagen as well. Still waiting for Rokossovsky to make his return from Asia. But he's taking his time. We've got air dominance in eastern and western Poland. Well, eastern Germany and western Poland. Good times there. The Germans, I don't know why they left divisions here. I don't know why they left divisions here. Would you not think that you'd go, you know what, let's bail them out. And 6 divisions up in northern Denmark there. Would you not bail them out and took them home? Because they lose about 26 divisions up there. Like, it's only 26, but still 26. You know what I mean? Still equipment, manpower, and it's just unnecessary. You could have bailed them out. Could have bailed them out and just let me pick up some empty land. But instead, no, they try and pathetically hold on. Don't get me wrong, they actually do put up a little bit of a fight until the end, where it's just quite embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as the Allies continually naval invading and failing. But oh well, they do suck. What can I say? They suck. So yeah, it's a matter of time now for Malmo and just the divisions to die. Overall, during this period of time, I think that's about 3 hours worth of edited recording here. We didn't do too badly in that time. It's the last 3 hours that really we come into our element and we start pushing. With some hiccups along the way. There's a big one, which you'll clearly tell when it happens next episode. Well guys, I hope you've enjoyed that first part of the 2-part finale, and I shall see you tomorrow for the second part. So yeah, until then, take care, cheerio bye, the now.